We're at Crown Jewel and we kick off the show in a big way as Big Bronson Reed is set to go against his bitter rival Seth Rollins. And to say this is a mismatch would be a massive understatement. It's one of the biggest Goliaths in WWE against the smaller David. How could Seth Rollins possibly win against the monster? Well, naturally, Bronson is dominating Seth. He's throwing him around as if he's nothing. It's already looking hopeless for the Visionary, but Rollins attempts to use his speed and agility to his advantage. He won't be put down easily, although that speed is best used for strikes, as he nails shot after shot to try and even wobble the big man, and eventually Bronson does begin to wobble. He even manages to send the big man over the top rope. However, Rollins keeps on the offensive, as with the speed of a hawk, he hits a picture-perfect dive onto the outside, but Rollins still doesn't let up. He knows he needs more, as he hits another big-time dive, but Bronson won't stay down. He keeps on getting up, so Rollins keeps on going at him. He even manages to connect with a diving knee, which takes the big man down. However, Rollins then makes a foolish mistake as he attempts to pick up the much larger Bronson, and of course, he doesn't have the strength. His back crumbles under the pressure just like when he was World Heavyweight Champion, and Bronson Reed takes full advantage as he launches Rollins into a barricade, but to ensure neither man gets counted out, Bronson smartly goes in and out of the ring to continue the punishment, and Bronson has vicious thoughts on his mind. He picks up the Visionary, then unbelievably hurls him into a barricade with enough force to make the Justice League impressed. The Visionary is hurting. How can he possibly continue? Well, Bronson knows how much pain Rollins is in, and he relishes in it as he puts him back into the ring and continues wearing down Rollins. He hits big power moves over and over, but no matter what moves he busts out, he can't seem to get the job done. So Bronson knows what he has to do. He goes to the top rope. He's gonna hit the tsunami, but Rollins manages to evade the dangerous maneuver. He has a chance, and he knows it as he manages to connect a stomp onto a dazed Bronson, and he sprawls into the cover. Is this it? No! Bronson kicks out at one. Rollins is shaken to his core with such a feat of endurance, but he knows he has to keep the pressure onto the big man, so he looks for another. However, as he's running, he gets caught and is obliterated by a waistline and senton combination. Rollins is out cold, but Bronson wants to ensure the damage is done, so he goes to the top rope, but like the veteran he is, Rollins rolls out the ring, and this makes Bronson furious. Although with his fury, he gets an idea, and with Rollins down and out, he goes to redecorate the announcer's table. Things can get ugly, but Rollins has some fight left in the tank. He fights out of the grasp of Reed. However, Reed ends up putting him on the announcer's table, with him joining the Architect, and they're trading strikes. Neither man will wilt, but Rollins manages to nail a shot to the gut onto Bronson Reed and has him in position and connects with a DDT. Reed is out cold. This is Rollins' time, but he wants to take out the bigger athlete for good, so he slides into the ring, goes to the top rope, and from there does the unthinkable. Seth takes the ultimate risk for the ultimate reward, but he can barely put Reed into the ring. His back is his own worst enemy, but regardless, he goes into the cover. 1, 2, no! Reed lives! Rollins can't believe it, but he has one more move left in the tank. He goes to the top rope, but Bronson cuts him off, and he hurls him into the center of the ring before nailing another waistline and senton combination. However, he isn't done. He goes to the top rope and manages to finally nail a tsunami, but he still isn't done as he hits another and another and another until finally he mercifully goes into the cover. 1, 2, 3. Bronson wins. He gets a clean victory over one of the biggest stars on Raw. It's a humongous win for him. But what's next on Crown Jewel? Well, following a malicious war, enters another, as it's time for the highly personal matchup between bitter rivals Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, and the match can only be best described as a battle. Both men bring their A game. However, with both men's styles of wrestling, it doesn't come as a surprise that the match devolves into a fight. But this is a far more different Kevin Owens. He's more vicious, he's more gritty, he's more of a fighter, he's more of what made him a world champion, and that propels Owens to control the matchup. He even manages to take the Apex Predator to the outside, in which he inflicts even more damage as he smashes Orton's back anywhere he can find it, but then he gets dark thoughts. He's gonna powerbomb Orton on the hardest part of the ring, but luckily the Viper gets out of it, and he creates some much needed separation, and with that, he manages to recuperate enough to the point where as Owens attempts to get back into the ring, Orton hits some vintage Orton offense. He He's looking for an RKO. Can he hit it? No! Owens counters. Then as Randy runs at Owens, he gets a pop-up powerbomb for his troubles. Orton is out, but the prize fighter wants to rub salt in the wound as he takes Randy to the outside, then nails the pop-up powerbomb onto the hardest part of the ring. Orton is hurt, and Cody knows it. He demands for Owens to end the match, but he refuses as he says to the champ, "Throw in the towel, Cody. That's the only way this will end." And almost immediately, Cody does. He saves his mentor from career-threatening injuries. But is the damage already done? Well, Owens thinks so, as he just leaves both men. He doesn't want or need to hit Cody at this moment in time. It's a big warning from the champ who runs the camp, as the prize fighter has now shown how ruthless he can be. But regardless, it's now time to see who will be the very first Women's Crown Jewel champion between the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan and the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax. And similar to the opening contest, it's another David vs Goliath style affair. And just like the opener, everyone despises the Goliath. Everyone hates that Nia is in control, and people for the first time in a long time start cheering for Liv. The crowd even cheer when Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez start involving themselves in the match. They're trying their best to give Liv a helping hand, and the Women's World Champion starts to take advantage, but she can't even take the irresistible force down, nor can she pick her up, as she learns the hard way what happens if she tries to. And just like that, Nia takes back control of the match, but Liv's backbone will do whatever it takes to reinsert Liv into the match, as with Dominic distracting the ref, Raquel hands Liv a chair who then starts beating it into Nia, which does take her down. And after discarding the evidence, Liv keeps up with her offense. She refuses to allow Nia to get up, but no matter how hard she tries, she can't seem to put away Nia Jax, so she allows Jax to her feet as she forces her onto the ropes. Can she hit an oblivion? While Nia counters and hurls her out the ring. She's back into the fight, and while she desperately gets a breather, she frantically asks, "Where the hell is Tiffany?" No one knows, but one thing Nia does know is that she's outnumbered, even if it is a one-on-one match. That is until someone comes to her aid, although it isn't who she expects.
Damage control.
Damage control are here, and they run off Dominic before engaging in a wild brawl with Raquel on the ramp. It's now a fair one-on-one match, but Liv has also recuperated, and that gives her a chance to nail an oblivion out of nowhere. But Liv has taken herself out. She's dazed. That is until... she's here, and she has her briefcase. Tiffany's gonna cash in and run straight past the free-faced woman on the ramp and makes a beeline to the ring. Who is she gonna cash in on? She doesn't know what to do. Liv is stirring. Nia is out. So Tiffany makes her choice. Tiffany chooses Nia. She betrays her so-called best friend. She's had enough of the abuse from Jax, and with another prettiest moonsault ever, Tiffany wins. She becomes WWE Women's Champion. But not only that, she is crowned the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel Champion. Everyone loves this, although Nia isn't best pleased, but she leaves the new champ alone, as it's now well and truly Tiffy time. Although before we get further development on the biggest betrayal of the night up to that point, it's time for the United States triple threat match between LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, and it's total non-stop action between all three men. Knight perfectly meshes with their already impeccable chemistry between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, and they're already in contention for competing in the match of the night. But speaking of Knight, he's using big power moves in an attempt to slow down Melo and El Idolo. He has the strength, whereas both Andrade and Melo have the speed and agility, which puts all three men on an equal playing field. No one knows who will win. It's unpredictable. Andrade even busts out a poison rod to try and take out his arch rival, but Knight breaks up the count. And to take out Andrade, Knight picks him up and just dumps him out the ring. It's down to 2, but Melo tries rolling him up. 1, 2, no! Knight lives, but for how much longer? As Melo counters an attempted BFT and manages to connect with a picture-perfect cutter before going to the top rope. He's going for nothing but net. However, Andrade is back up and knocks Melo off the ropes. And with a groggy Knight, El Idolo takes full advantage and decides to pay tribute to his past as he manages to nail a hammerlock DDT onto the megastar. But as soon as this happens, Melo nails a nothing but net onto Andrade. Melo wins. He's the new United States champion, but LA Knight was never pinned. So although Melo celebrates his victory, his future may already have been sealed, but he doesn't care. He soaks in the victory, and it's a well-earned victory at that. All the hardship you had to endure the best of 7 series, even if you don't like him, you've got to respect him. But there's no respect in this next match, as the future of the Women's Tag Team Championships are uncertain, as Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill have to somehow overcome Metaforce, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, Damage Control and the dynamic duo of Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And the match is full-blown chaos. There's bodies everywhere, but everyone is showcasing their talents. It's especially a big coming out party for Lash and Jakara in their first premium live event on the main roster. But eventually the match is reaching its finale. Belair and Cargill are fighting Damage Control on the ramp, and although Cargill urges for them to get closer to the ring, Belair doesn't care. She's seeing red. She hasn't forgotten the torment she went through by Damage Control, but that gives Lash Legend and Jakara an opportunity as they manage to double team Piper Niven, which leaves Chelsea Green all on her own. The crowd are electric. They think we're going to see new champions, and with a Lash extension, she goes into the cover. 1, 2, no! Piper Niven breaks up the count. Everyone thought we were going to see new champions, and this is a wake-up call for the champs as they attempt to bring the war back to the ring, but their plan goes wrong, but not how people were expecting. The Dream Team are out, and with Dakota Kai fending them off, Kairi Sane and Io Sky make their way towards the ring whilst dispatching Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and once again it comes down to 2 teams, but Lash and Jakara's lack of experience allows for Damage Control to get on top. They're all over the rookies, and with an assisted insane elbow along with a moonsault by Io Sky, we see new champions. Everyone loves it. Damage Control finally get back the Women's Tag Team titles, and in the end, Damage Control are almost complete once again. But up next is all about family. It's time for OG Bloodline to take on what many consider to be the Timu Bloodline. Which team will reign supreme? Well, the match begins between 2 brothers, that being Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, and these 2 men are going at it. Their hatred is on full display, but Solo smartly tags out to his enforcer, and Jacob completely overwhelms Jimmy. He needs to tag in Jay or Roman, but to do that he has to get an opening against Jacob Fatu, and Fatu is relentless. He's mauling on the Uso like a rabid dog, but all it takes is that one opening, and Jimmy manages to make the tag to Roman Reigns, and like the kids would say, the aura is off the charts. They stare holes for each other, and unlike their last match, they immediately start slugging it out with one another. Neither man has the advantage, although Solo forces Jacob to push the OTC away and tag himself back in. So Solo and Roman go back and forth. It's a very competitive section of the contest. Although Solo is getting overwhelmed, the OTC is too much, so he has to tag in Tama Tonga, whose speed and agility allows him to take control of Roman Reigns, who is surprisingly the one being isolated. He's being slowly decimated by all 3 members of the new bloodline. However, the crowd are desperate for his comeback. They're desperate for main event Jey Uso, but no matter what Roman does, he can't seem to get any separation. That is until he manages to nail a desperate Superman punch onto Solo Sikoa, and with that, Roman Reigns tags in Jey Uso. The crowd are at a fever pitch, and Jey is a one-man wrecking crew. He takes out Jacob, he takes out Tala, and he dives onto Solo Sikoa. But from here, the match breaks down. Everyone starts fighting with everyone. The referee's gonna call for a disqualification until...
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
The Rock is here! The final boss is back in WWE! And he's decided to return in the middle of the Bloodline Civil War. And he starts going towards the ring yelling profanities at the referee, with him saying that if the ref calls for a DQ that he'll fire him, which calls back to what The Rock did at WrestleMania. But the only other people in the ring are Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, with The Rock shortly joining them. What will he do? Well, rather than say anything, he lets his actions do the talking. The final boss has just handed Solo the win on a silver platter. He's just assaulted the tribal chief. But why? Well, we don't find out, as with The Rock walking away, the new bloodline completely stand tall. But regardless, it's now time for the main event of the evening. It's time for a god to take on a titan. It's time for Zeus to take on Odin. Or in wrestling terms, it's time for Cody Rhodes to take on Gunther. Who will be the inaugural Crown Jewel champion? Well, as the referee pats down Cody for the big time match, Goldberg hits a spear out of nowhere onto the ring and before getting out of the way as quick as a flash. Gunther's hurt, but he wants to continue the match regardless. However, as the referee rushes to check in on Gunther, Kevin Owens sneaks into the ring and nails a nutshot onto the American Nightmare before scattering away. Now both men are hurt, but both men want to fight, so the bell rings and the match is underway, and there's no feeling out process. They start throwing hands as if there's no tomorrow, but all it takes is one devastating chop for Gunther to take control. Can he take revenge on Cody for him eliminating the ring at the end of the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble, or can Cody get one up on him again? Well, it's a very back and forth match. Neither man will wilt, but Cody is having to take big time risks to match Gunther's raw power, but all it takes is one strike for the ring general to overpower Cody. But you could say Cody has adrenaline in his soul as he continues fighting on regardless. He even attempts a Cody cutter, but Gunther catches him with a rear naked choke. Will Cody tap or pass out, or can he get out of the devastating maneuver? Well, he does get out of it, and this gives him a second win. That is until Cody attempts another springboard, which is this time caught with Gunther hurling him to the outside of the ring. Cody's back must be dismantled, but Gunther wants to break him as he powerbombs Cody onto the barricade and the rebuilt announce table. And once Gunther throws Cody into the ring, he begins to dominate. Has the damage been done? Well, Gunther manages to clatter Cody with a signature lariat and splash before going into the cover. 1, 2... No! Cody lives! He won't be denied! Although Gunther doesn't care. He picks him up and looks for a powerbomb, but Cody fights out of it. Then as Gunther looks for another lariat, Cody counters and nails a crossroads. Is this it? 1, 2... No! Gunther survives! So Cody signals to hit another, but Gunther catches him with a brutal elbow and finally hits a powerbomb and goes into the cover. 1, 2... No! Cody with the heart of a true god kicks out. No one can believe it, least of all Gunther, who stands in shock of Cody getting fired up, even though his body is broken. And in a big desperate move, Gunther hits another powerbomb, then another, and another, before going into the cover again. But once again, Cody barely kicks out. How the hell is the American Nightmare still alive in this match? But rather than getting cocky like he did at WrestleMania, he keeps on going, hitting powerbomb after powerbomb, until with one hand on Cody, Gunther mercifully attempts to finish the contest. 1, 2, 3... Gunther wins. He becomes the inaugural Crown Jewel champion, and even with Goldberg's presence looming over the ring general, he doesn't care. And Crown Jewel ends on a somber yet utterly brilliant note. And if you like this story, I think this might interest you.